of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will do silence for our following groups, Memorial Days, Ronald Warner, and we respect paying the price for their lives. Thank you.
Public hearing, there is no public hearing on dental centers. This is misinformation that's put out there on the internet. The county and local planning and zoning boards are still reviewing the project. Many questions and concerns remain, and there will be a public hearing at the appropriate time.
Today? None. He said it's missing for one.
Announcements and
He said it's
notifications.
missing for
He just
one.
wanted to kill us and not telling us, right? Surprised at that.
Presentation of this public hearing at this time.
Could you speak louder? Can't hear.
Okay, we're going to come to order. Okay, we're into the standard agenda items. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 16th meeting, please.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Resolution number 1, approval from Massena Town Council for the Town Highway Superintendent to accept the renewal contract with Stark Tech Services, LLC, for maintenance on all town Massena's generators in the amount of $10,409.38. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 2, authorizing the Massena Town Council to accept the resignation letter for Massena Public Library aide Kathleen Hartson as of May 27, 2026. Thank you for many years of service. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 3, approval from the Massena Town Council for the library director to advertise the library aide position from May 21st to Wednesday, June 4th, 2026. The pay is $16.58 per hour. Have a motion?
Make the motion.
And second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 4, approval from the Massena Town Council for the town supervisor to sign the airport infrastructure grant, AIG, grant agreement for the reconstruct terminal access road and terminal parking lot at the airport. The federal contribution is $171,332. State contribution is $4509. The town is $4509. Total cost is $188,370.
I'll second.
5, approval from the Massena Town Council to town supervisor to sign the airport infrastructure grant agreement for the reconstruct airport lighting wall design. Federal contribution is $202,967. States is $5,342. The towns is $5,341. For a total cost of $213,650. Have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Dennis, do we vote on the last one or on? We vote on the last?
For 4, I had seen you, there's no either second.
Did we vote on it? I don't think we voted on it, did we?
I had it all, I thought I said all.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. So that's number 5. Do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
Okay.
The second one will vote.
So we do 5, the approval for the grant for the airport, for the lighting wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got first, second, we have to go over there.
Right. Motion?
I.
Okay. All right, so we'll. 6.
We didn't vote on it.
All right,
All right.
I'm in favor of
I'm
it.
all in favor?
Aye.
So, 6, approval from the Massena Town Council for honorary Eric Charlo to attend the NYSMA training September 27th to the 30th in Albany, New York. Total cost is $1,400, which includes registration, mileage, and lodging included. Have a motion for that? Motion.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain? Family
Town Council with Town Supervisor to sign the contract between the band Bonfire, a tribute to AC/DC, and the town of Massena for their upcoming Walking the River performance held on Saturday, August 15th, 2026, for a total cost of $23.50.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
So, number 8, authorizing the Massena Town Council to accept the resignation letter for the town of Massena archivist Linda McDonald as of May 15, 2026.
Motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Are we gonna, have, Kelsey replace her, or do we not know?
He's gonna step up.
Okay.
Linda had 13 years of service for Massena and the surrounding communities. I'd like to thank her for her service. She'll be at the museum until the end of the month. If you want to stop by and say goodbye to her, wish her congratulations. Give a motion to accept the warrants.
I make a motion, we accept the warrants.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to accept the transfers and amendments.
I'll motion that we accept transfers and amendments.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? So carried. Financial reports. Everyone do those.
Yep.
Booking reports.
As of today, May 20th, 2026.
Right, they did one more actually.
Red numbers
Oh,
are
there is
not.
more than line, sorry about that.
Okay.
Approval from the Massena Town Council with Town Supervisor to sign a shared services agreement with the highway departments between the town of Brazier and town of Massena. It is where each town has certain highway, non-highway, special equipment or skilled personnel which may be available from time to time to share the resources.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, keep it report.
As of today, May 20th, 2026, our collected revenue is $5,361,543. Last year, on May 2025, it was $5,233,562. Our 2026 revenue is $127,981 more than May of 2025. Our expenses as of today, May 20th, is $3,572,586. In May of 2025, our expenses were $3,726,066. Our 2026 expenses are $153,480 less than May of 2025.
Take a run up. Going to the committee and department reports. Town highway.
For the highway department, we picked trash on all town roadsides. We completed spring cleanup and received a total of 133 loads of garbage. We mowed town cemeteries 4 times, chipped the brush pile 2 times, and we have replaced or installed 3 new culverts so far. For highway garage equipment repairs, Unit 51, we replaced air tanks and straps. Unit 33, we replaced both air tanks. For Unit 49, we replaced the EGR control valve, and for Unit 52, we replaced the rear axle seal. For the airport, with peak air numbers for April, there was 410 inflamed, 430 deplaned for 840 total. There was 160 landings and 5 canceled flights due to weather. We are continuing to deal with the beavers and the drainage ditches. We have started finish mowing. We completed our airport emergency response training, and we completed our yearly Part 139 FAA inspection. For the library and museum, we have no new issues. For the town hall, we're having an issue with the AC currently, and I got confirmation today that next week on the 27th, we will be setting the new rooftop unit. We will have the side parking lot temporarily closed in the morning while we have a crane set up to crane the new unit on the roof. I'm gonna have to ask everybody to park out back on that day. And that is all.
Thank you, Dylan.
Dylan, did you have a total tipping fee for that?
I do not off the top of my head. I can get it to you.
Joint Rec.
Joint rec met on May 12th. They got the ice out on April 27th and said it was the easiest they've ever had it come out, so they were pleased. They have a couple upcoming projects. They're going to be venting the roof, paving the beach parking lot at the end of the season. The mold remediation is going to be from the end of July till the end of September. And they had 5 contractors submit bids for that, and the winning bid is going to be $120,500. Indoor lacrosse games are happening in July, and they are hoping it's going to boost their concession sales. Soccer sign-ups start June 1st. The season is August through September, and they're still looking for coaches, especially in the pre-K group. They have to have at least 4 pre-K coaches. Softball has started. The fields are busy every day. They've got all kinds of teams. Beach will open Memorial Day for the picnic area, and the water is dependent on the weather. Alcoa announced that they are giving a $20,000 gift over 3 years for the Alcoa Park. The plans for that are a new roof on the building, resurfacing the playground with rubber mulch, and repairing the fence at the tennis court. And they are looking into grants for new playground equipment for Alcoa Field as well. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Town Library.
Where's Krista?
She's here.
He's over here.
Hi. Okay, so the library value to the community for the month of April was $83,231. I really love sharing that figure every month. That is taking participation in the library, that's attendance at programs, materials borrowed, meeting rooms used, and putting it against how much that would cost to pay for it at the library. So that's $83,231 for the month of April. Coming events, we have on June 4th, we have a new wood cutting club that will be starting to meet every first Thursday of each month from 1 to 3 p.m. Registration is required, but it is for everyone from seasoned pros to total newbies, and they're starting on June 4th. June 10th is Medicare 101 with Barb Ackerman. June 12th is Patriotic Barn Quilts with Teresa Gabor. Registration required again, and there is a fee for that one, but she provides all the materials. June 15th is meal prep on a budget from 1 to 2 p.m. with Cornell Cooperative Extension. Then on the 16th we have Cell Phones 101 with Christopher Sarsfield. Registration required for that as well. That's just basically if you struggle with any of the features of your cell phone, he can help you out with it. June 24th, we have a talk on African Americans and the Revolutionary War with David Rocky Rockwell from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in honor of the 250th anniversary of the nation. June 25th, Legal Aid Clinic with Adam Martin of Volunteer Lawyers Project of Central New York from 2 to 4 p.m. He'll be offering legal advice at the library to anyone who needs it. June 29th is Revolutionary War Talk with Dr. Thomas Baker of Potsdam from 3:30 to 4:30 in partnership with the Massena Museum. Again, in honor of the 250th. We want to say big thanks to the community for everyone who showed their library love by contributing to our endowment drive over National Library Week.
resignation, and we did thank her for all of her years of service. The museum, Kelsey is planning on keeping the museum open on like historical holidays, Memorial Day, things like that, Juneteenth, because he wants everyone to be able to have access to it. And Krista mentioned the, oh my gosh, I just blanked. The program that they're having in conjunction with the library and the museum. Oh, that's the Dr. Baker's talks, that's what it was.
Revolutionary War talk.
Yeah, thank you. The other thing is Kelsey created social media accounts both on Facebook and Instagram in a hope to increase the youth involvement with the library and the museum. They made museum brochures. They have 200 copies printed that they are handing out and placing in different areas to be looked at. And they are brainstorming some poster ideas for tabling events when they do have, like, when there's a parade or something along those lines, they'll have a table out to encourage people to come into the museum. And that is about it.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Yeah.
John Meisner.
Just so I can see you all. One of the things that I really want to talk about is our big gas blowout, which Jason made sure that the registration is now open, and the feedback from around the state is really amazing. I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. One of the people that has helped us in the past, Justin Waltz, who was a guest of mine. He was a Marine that was injured in Iraq. He lives down near Watertown in that area. And he told me, I talked to him today, and he said, I gotta tell you that we have a fishing tournament group down here, and we had planned to go to Cayuga Lake at that time. We had a tournament there, but the whole team now is gonna come up here and fish the big bass blowout. And this is the kind of response we're getting. One of the people that had won so many times before it called me from Albany, and he said, you know, this is fantastic what you're doing with this, how you're growing it. He said, I would be glad to come up, talk to the board and tell them the impact that it's had on us and the amount of money that we spend when we come up here. I think this is really important for all of you to know that this is amazing. It's something that we've been building for years now. This is what we, the town of Massena, have been doing. And it just makes me reflect on the fact that the tourism boom that is happening in the North Country is due to the fact that Massena, over a decade ago, began this journey to try to pick up the slack that was left when Fish Cap ended. And it's affected every single community in the North Country is gained from what we've done here. And so I wanted to mention that. The other thing I did want to mention is that, you know, when we report on what we're doing, every day we're working day and night to try to put all this stuff together. All these tournaments, we've got calls from each of these tournament people wanting to know if we've got everything ready for them to come up here. And it does. It takes a year to do this. And one of the things that we've been doing is making sure we got porta potties and we've got the golf carts set up and ready to go. And any of the members here that have not been part of any of these tournaments, we really welcome any of the board members' families to become part of this, because it's a team of volunteers, and that's what makes us so successful. And one of the other things we commented on is I noticed that the town of Alex Bay had put an ad together for a TV commercial together for what their town represented, and they were representing fishing, and somehow they got a picture of me fishing with somebody, and so I wasn't promoting Alex Bay, but they're astute enough to realize that fishing right now is what's bringing all this excitement here to the North Country, including a, quote, tourist town. They've got tons of other tourist things for people to engage in, but it's the fishing is what's bringing them to the mighty St. Lawrence. And just, this is something I wanted to pass on, and it has nothing to do with my value here. But one of our team members that has helped us with every single tournament, Alex, You all know Alex, I think. He was turkey hunting, and he was in the woods just before light, and he was calling the turkeys. And little did he know that something was responding to his turkey call. There was a bobcat stalking him. And eventually, it got up and it bounded and landed on his back, thinking it was getting the biggest turkey it ever had. So anyway, Alex wasn't hurt. He said, thank goodness it didn't have his claws out, and it didn't bite him. It just ran away once he discovered that he didn't have a turkey. So that's the end of my report.
Maybe he did have a turkey.
Okay. My report is very brief, and the activities are ongoing. The New York State Pro Housing Communities Program, the letter of intent that was signed by the town supervisor and the board resolution approved by the board, that's been uploaded to their system, and we're working on the zoning and mapping information that will be required. I'm working currently on the work plan for the Market New York grant application. They've not opened it as of yet, but we anticipate a 60-day window, probably beginning of June through the end of July. And the last item on my report is the Community Development Block Grant and the closing of that. And I anticipate in the next 30 days that we'll have a response from Albany about the closure.
Thank you, Linda.
That's everything.
Dawn, I wanted to tell you that we have our fishing equipment library out to the public. You can now check out fishing equipment from the library with your library card.
Fantastic.
And I credit you with that for putting that idea in my head.
Thanks, Linda.
All right, well, Don does that with panache, so I'll come up here as well. First off, I just want to thank everyone for coming out to hear our updates, it's great. So I have quite a bit to report from the Chamber of Commerce here because we are just coming off the tails of the Massena Spring Fever Festival. I think with that festival, we proved out the concept for that because there were a lot of different entities that participated in it. There were a lot of events, and I want to thank Supervisor Langto for coming out to a bunch of those on his funky cool bike that he has. So this was really neat how many entities participated in this. We had a bunch of downtown businesses come together for a gift card giveaway. Hardee's Kitchen and Bake Company did a photo contest. Esther's did a Teacher Appreciation Week special and a Mother's Day special. Everything Electric had a discount. Simplicity Boutique had a discount. And then for events, there was the Open Doors to History event at the museum. Pal of Massena had a dueling pianos, which sold out, was a huge fundraiser for them, which was great. Massena Rotary had a guest speaker. Elke's Tap Room had a Cinco de Mayo event. The Alcoa Spring Olympics was wonderful to see all the smiling faces on the kids that participated. Ray, I was disappointed you didn't try the pool noodle javelin, but maybe next year you got to warm up for it. So that was excellent, and they even gave out medals that they cast right there at the facility. Fahrenheit at the same time had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament going. Frenchies did an EV demo days, and then speaking of history, there was a screening of Christine the History Queen's documentary about the Queen's visit to dedicate the locks back in the day, and that was held at the Seaway Visitor Center, and Christine was there to do the demo. So there were, I handed out the buttons for the festival were designed by Hanley White from Jefferson Elementary School, so those were locally designed buttons, and I would thank our sponsors, A1 King's Buffet, Well Now, Urgent Care, and Alcoa for sponsoring that festival. I think we proved out the concept next year with additional advanced time to plan and promote and get more people out to it. It's only going to grow. We're meeting with our chamber ambassadors tomorrow night to select dates to do that, so that we can get it on the calendar now. So, excited about that. There are a bunch of other things coming up. The business resource mixer, we have a business mixer happening at Esther's Cafe on June 13th with Synergy Solutions, which is a financial exit planning firm that just joined the chamber. We tentatively got the Massena garage, townwide garage sales set for the 26th to 27th of June, but we're meeting with the ambassadors tomorrow to decide what that's all going to entail. I'd also like to give a shout out and cheers for 5 new members that have joined the chamber from Massena since last month, and those are Cedar View Golf Club, Mystic Ray Tanning, Fahrenheit, Alpie's Tap Room, and Fourth Coast Cafe have all joined the Chamber of Commerce in the past month. And I'd also give extra large shout out to CCOM Federal Credit Union for becoming a platinum member of our leadership circle. So wonderful to be able to partner with them. The business resource mixer we held last month was attended by more than 100 people and business leaders from around the county, and I'd like to give a shout out to Bill Fiacco for being on the panel of entrepreneurs that shared their knowledge and insight to the group, even if he did throw down some pretty corny dad jokes during the process. We had several Massena graduates we had graduation for the St. Lawrence Leadership Institute a week ago, and there were some Massena leaders themselves that graduated from the program, so that was wonderful. We also have coming up a lunch and learn next week on personal debt management. We're going to be launching a new series, a new program called Chamber Chat, where we're going to take some business leaders from around the community, and Tom Grazer and I are going to sit down and do an online chit chat with them and get their insights on what they do and in their business leadership roles. And our first one next month will be with Mark Murray, who's the president of Liberty Utilities. I also want to encourage everyone to come to our annual tourism dinner, which is happening on June 11th at the Ogdensburg Airport, where we'll be talking about a bunch of programs that we have going, not the least of which is the 250th anniversary of the nation. It was wonderful to hear all the different activities that some of the other presenters shared, and that has been very good, especially that Open Doors to History event. We also are getting launched into a destination development initiative, working with a gentleman by the name of Josiah Brown, who goes by the nickname the New York Sherpa, and that is a big initiative for us to develop out the county as a destination. I'm sure we'll be working to support the work that folks like Don are doing, the great work to bring in the tourism. And also part of that initiative is a digital maturity accelerator, where we are working with a firm called WareSite to help businesses in the county enhance their digital online presence, those who need help with that. So a little sampling there, just some highlights for everybody, and if anyone has any questions about our chamber, our work here at the chamber, just give us a holler. We're happy to engage with everybody on these fronts. Good? Okay, right on. Okay.
Oh, no, just across the street.
Code officer Pat's out of town, he's at the program. Town planning and zoning, we're meeting tomorrow. Massena Electric Department. Jason Hendricks.
There he is.
Here.
Quite a lengthy report this past month, working on a ton of stuff as we head into the summer season. The big thing is Rocking the River is rolling ahead. The planning is going on for that. That'll take place Saturday, August 15th at the Massena Town Beach, with Bonfire returning to be one of our main acts this year. Also during this month, I sat down with Carly Olson from NCCS. We had a lengthy meeting discussion how they could help us pull off this community event. They've been a great partner for 5 years running now, at least as long as I've been a part of it. And they agreed to be one of our title sponsors at a tune of $6,000, so that's gonna be huge in making this event happen this year. Additionally, Red, White, and Boom is moving along nicely. That'll take place in the Massena Arena Thursday, July 2nd. Fireworks, I'm still waiting on where we're gonna have that. That's not up to me, so I'm waiting on that one. But we're excited for that one. Gypsy Road Band will be our main act. They're a Fleetwood Mac cover band. So we're ready to roll on that one as well. We're gonna start that event at 2 p.m. Thursday, July 2nd, Massena Arena. The other thing we did is I went out to the intake and produced a video for Don announcing the big change for Big Bass Blowout. That was received very well. That had some great traffic. Additionally, we launched the Big Bass Blowout page. I worked with Brenda, got the registration, and I believe already we will launch that Sunday at 8 p.m. and we have 18 boats already registered, ready to go for Big Bass Blowout this year. So things are moving, things are good, the sun's shining. That's all I got. Any questions, feel free to reach out.
Go along with Jason, who does our pages, our website, Facebook pages, amongst many other things. And the official town page for Facebook is Town of Massena, New York. It's not the Town of Massena, that's the old Facebook page. So for up-to-date information, Town of Massena Facebook page, Massena.us for our webpage, and Fish Massena, Fly Massena for the airport, Fish Massena obviously for fishing. Go along with that, there's also a notification from the website if something pops up on the website. You can have a text sent to your phone. It's been available since I think 22 or 23. Inform you of everything. What we want to do is get the information out to the public more readily. I think that's important. We can see that's important because there's been some falsehoods going on about some of the information on data. So if you would, check out our sites, get the information from the town directly, and I think that might help the situation.
Thanks, Sam. Any old business?
I actually wanna, take a second and say something.
Sure.
So, originally, I was running for St. Lawrence County Legislature, and there has been some confusion. I don't know if there's miscommunication. I had to drop out of that race. I am not stepping down from the town board. There have been plenty of people who have asked me, when is your last day on the town board? I'm not leaving the town board. I just wanted to clear the air there, because people, when I dropped out of the race, some people assumed I was leaving the town board as well. I just wanted to clear the air there. That's all.
Let's go to the Christie.
Thank you.
How about you, Adrian?
I'm grateful.
There you go.
Oh, you're on the town board.
Okay.
Any new business? Okay, our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, June 17th at 4:30 p.m. right here, room 30. We'll have closing 15-minute public comment period. Ray Fenton.
Dave Fenton. I'm David Fenton. I came here and I know it's not about the data centers that we're going to be talking about today. But I do have something to say about it, not to debate it. First of all, if I was Mr. O'Shaughnessy or Mr. Carbone, when they decided to do the data centers, I'd be very excited about doing it. The headlines read that Massena was the largest digital currency data center, and also says the point that was to invest up to $700 million in Massena digital currency infrastructure and redevelopment of the former Alcoa East facility over the next 18 months. It also said there'd be 150 people hired during this operation. I would be excited. Massena is at a poverty level. It's very hard to do things. But things have changed since that happened. One of the main changes is that artificial intelligence was not really discussed during that period of time. It was very much in the embassy structure. We didn't see the demand that's going to be for electric power and all of that. New York State during all this period of time of the debates on the data centers. I'm against it, but that doesn't matter. New York State still hasn't taken an opinion on it, or stand on it. They keep asking for moratoriums. There's a bill in it to extend the moratorium again. I've been in contact numerous times with the DEC, asking them how they will be monitoring water, energy levels, and noise levels. They have absolutely no response. They have no input in this at all. Neither does the federal government. So where we stand now is that these people are coming in for data centers, and they typically, more than the majority of data centers are in poorer towns that are desperate for jobs, to have cheaper land and have power, and that's why we were chosen. But because of the infrastructure, the way that things have changed with artificial intelligence, I think the town needs to take another look at this, because this isn't the same way. It was evident when the town first passed this, it was exciting. There hasn't been $700 million spent on the site, there's no question about that. And at no time did they employ 150 people. Currently, from what I understand, the level of employment is 80 people, 60 in Massena, 20 in Malone. So they've never come up with what they've offered us. The town also had doubts after that because of putting cargo vans on another site that would not be on the tax register. There were many, many questions by people about this. A lot of it was more about cryptocurrency than power and stuff. Now we're into that stage. Excuse me. And I think we have to take another look at it. They pick us pick small governments because we don't have an infrastructure we can make decisions fast. But we have nobody to be able to research the effect on the environment, the effect on the economy, or any of that. And no study was done on Massena did it. It became questionable after Massena did do it because they extended a moratorium for more than 4 years to not allow any more cryptocurrency in. And during that 4 years, once they lifted the moratorium, again, no environmental studies, no impact on the environment, on the economy, on the electrical structure was done at that time. I understand there's a planning meeting coming up this week. The planning meeting isn't addressing the fact that the town, I feel, right now, should do what New York State has done and take a moratorium to be able to figure out this stuff before we impact it on our environment, before we hurt our wildlife, before we hurt the birds and stuff with noise. And it is evident we're going to have extreme powers, and there's no question in my mind if we have the expansions that are talked about here in Massena and the area for artificial intelligence and for the data processing centers, that our electric costs are going to go extremely high. Yeah. Right now, it is effective if all the data centers in the northern area get approved, they will consume as much electric power as New York City does at the current time. And that is data that's come out from sources and stuff. So we have a problem. You have a problem, we have a problem. It hasn't been looked into under the current situations with artificial intelligence. Again, I commend the former government here in Massena for deciding to do data centers because we need employment. We do need our land to be developed. I think this is the wrong reason. I ask you to put a hold, a moratorium on any further development of it, and to have someone look into it to find out what the environmental facts are and who is going to monitor the environment, who's going to monitor the economy, and what restrictions are going to be put on the electric usage. Are any of these companies going to produce their own power, which is possibly suggested? When we talked about before, some of the things we're talking about having a greenhouse effect and having greenhouses put in, that was never followed through. But we don't have $700 million with investments. We don't have 150 people. Data centers do not hire a lot of people. Yes, we do need jobs, but this isn't the type of jobs we need, and we don't need to destroy our environment, especially as Mr. Meissner talks about how the Seaway and how the St. Lawrence River has become so strong of a place for tourism, and that's because of our environment. We do not have the restrictions that we used to have on fishing, and that was very detrimental to our economy. A lot of those have been lifted, and I think we have to realize that, and we have to rethink. The town has to rethink and ask for another moratorium similar to what New York State has asked for, and I think that's very important in order for us to go further and to maintain our community that we should maintain it.
Thank you, Mr. Fine. We're looking at all that.
I want to say one thing. I meant to say that, and I apologize. But this was brought out in a rush. I mean, it was just, we didn't know about it. It was advertised that the land might be sold. Okay, we're just finding out ourselves. Tomorrow, this will will be presented to the planning board. That's the first official step locally that's happened. At that time, we'll take all the information in, or the planning board will, and they will decide things that aren't right. When I first saw the plan, I saw it on paper, I saw that they were going to use cooling water from the river. I immediately said, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to put closed loop cooling in our codes. That's something we have to have, to protect the environment as well. There has been environmental studies and all that on the property now, and what we want to do is get those on our page, so that's all readily available for everybody to see. So you don't take hearsay or something from social media. It's ridiculous, the bids for the ISO, one at 1,965 megawatts. All those bids, there's not that much power here. It's just freaking everybody out. There's no way you could support all those data centers here. There's no possible way. I mean, I think you need to step back and look for the information that we're putting out, and I believe some of the data centers we'll be putting out, and go off that information instead of hearsay that's out there. I appreciate that greatly. It takes a lot of time to put out all those fires of that misconception, that it takes away from time to develop codes that protect the residents of Massena and our neighbors. So if we can just try to scale back a little bit. This was pushed out there, and it has to go through all the proper channels. It has to go through environmental. It has to go through all the steps. It gets feedback. I think it's good that the moratorium came open, because now I've heard from all of you. I read all your comments, and I listen. I'm documenting them, and we're looking into every one of those things that we read about or hear about. So we are listening, and I think that just getting the proper information is important. Thank you.
To answer Mr. Fenn's question here, we are looking at all the options, or we are converting options. And then after that. Okay, public comment policy, please state your name and address for the record. You got something to say?
I think this
Hi.
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Sue Delaney, 1831 Route 420. I was just wondering, has anybody, either yourselves or with the planning commission, been asked to sign non-disclosure agreements? Because that seems to be the thing that's being reported on a lot of these data centers that have gone through, that they were done with non-disclosure agreements, and the officials weren't even allowed to let the public know what was going on.
Or rumors.
Did she hear that?
The town is subject to both public policy and
Just said.
FOIL, so the process is open and transparent, and it has to be by law.
Okay, so no non-disclosure agreements. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you.
I'd like to
Shannon
speak.
King Oaks, I was a Quebec in New York State. I just want people to keep in mind that our community has suffered a lot of the decisions that were made without our input. We have mothers that can't even breastfeed their kids because of the PCPs in their breast milk. There's a lot of things that need to be found out about this. And if you're saying that there's not even the power to facilitate this, then why are they even entertaining the idea?
Not a small scale, but a large scale. I think I counted 3 gigawatts. That's like our half of the dam times 3. I mean, it's not here. It's
Meanwhile, they can't even figure out the 9 megawatt that we're supposed to be getting, and now they wanna throw in obstacles that say, oh, you have to put in your own transfer stations now. So every time that there's agreements happening, our community suffers the brunt of your decisions. So I want your community to understand, in order for us to live amongst each other cohesively, peacefully, you have to respect our livelihood, our quality of life. And that's what you're playing with. I want you all to keep that in mind, please. Thank you.
I'd like to speak. Sorry, Josh.
So would we.
I've been standing, please, it's my turn, ladies first. So hello everyone, my name is Ronnie Sunday, I am from Akwesasne. I am here speaking as a member of MUSH, which means Mohawks United in Safety and Health, by the way, whoever's saying sovereignty and heritage, that's not right. And also a member of Akwesasne, and a common shopper in Massena, so I feel like I also have a say here. And a lot of my friends went to Massena High Schools. So I have my notes here. I'd like to start off by saying that there wouldn't be any allegations of misinformation if the town board was more transparent with their agenda and action items. When we put out our statement that we were attending the meeting today, we never said what it was for. We never said there was going to be a vote. Other people said that. We only said we would be bringing our concerns to the floor. And regardless of whether or not data centers are on the agenda, we're prioritizing this as an issue that needs to be addressed in all of our communities. I understand that the topic isn't an item on the agenda, but we're still going to be sharing our concerns. Our group attended the St. Lawrence County Planning Board meeting where they reviewed the application and the board shared their own concerns. The site plan calls for 3 large structures to be built within the smallest building coming in at 400,000 square feet. To put this into perspective, the smallest building is going to be twice the size of the Massena Walmart and 3 times the size of the Home Depot. NCCS claims that they are a good neighbor to the Akwesasne Mohawk community, so as a good neighbor, I'm coming to the town of Massena to urge them to not pass the 207 amendment as it's written and to prohibit applications for special use permits and variances for data centers. Data center developers, such as NCCS, are only accountable to their external shareholders and not local residents, and threaten our water, air quality, and energy grid stability. NCCS already operates on a legacy contaminant site and are looking to acquire the legacy metals parcel. Both sites have a long history of environmental contamination, which was brought up in the county planning meeting by their own members, both of which have contributed to environmental generational harm to the people of Akwesasne. The proposed amendment has virtually none of the protections recommended by experts and communities across the country. So I'd like to ask for clarity from Massena officials as to when and how the zoning decisions will be made, what the timeline will look like when reviewing the county comments, and we demand another public comment, multiple, as well as continuous correspondence and transparency with not only the community of Akwesasne, but your own constituents. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Moran. I'm here representing NCCS and NCCS's expansion project. NCCS has been a proud employer in the Massena community since 2017. We have 60 employees. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, but you can talk to us and we're
That was a statement from your,
transparent.
that was a statement from your thing that was in the newspaper.
I think the newspaper, but
More debate.
60 employees, 6 million in payroll every year, and $5 million of payroll every year. Sorry, I need to get the facts right now. And $6 million in public services from local taxes. We're not coming in as a speculative developer asking to come take your power and take your resources. We're an established business that's asking to reinvest in our existing site. And that reinvestment is to take the current power allocation that is designated towards Bitcoin computers to modern, more stable, enterprise-grade computers. Over the last 2 years, as we've been thinking about this project and planning the development, we've solicited a lot of community feedback. We've taken that feedback seriously, and that's informed a lot of design changes that we've made, both on water and on generators, and multiple more things that we're iterating on real time to reduce any impacts on the environment and not impact the waterways at all. What we expect the expansion to bring is 200 full-time jobs, and those will be higher paying skilled labor. We expect around 2,000 construction jobs during the build-out. And we expect to be the largest taxpayer in the region. And everything is fully self-funded. This isn't something where costs are being passed on to the residents in the city. We are committed to transparency over the next weeks and months. We look forward to having a public website that people can go on, hold us accountable. That's something that we do take seriously. And we look forward to working with the town board and the planning board where we'll share a lot more information and we'll provide a lot more technical insights into the project. Thank you everyone for the time.
Before everyone gets up, I'd also like to say the information that we've been using, we got directly from NCCS. So anyone else that is posting all kinds of different things, I don't know where they're getting that from. Josh gave us specific material that we've been citing and using the entire time, also as well as the application from the last county planning meeting. And I would appreciate it when you bring it up that you don't have an attitude, because we're all very confused, and some of us that do know what's going on, we know what's been given to us. And I would appreciate it if, like, you were elected, no, you were appointed, right, Sam? Yes, so you weren't elected. I think that you should really watch.
And I appreciate that. I'm not saying that you put this information out there, but you know, if you tell somebody something, they tell somebody something else, it changes. And they had us voting on, everybody's up in arms, that we're gonna vote on having data centers and everything else. Did you guys believe that?
No, because we knew what was going on,
Well, a lot
and
of
we
people,
didn't post
a lot of
that.
people didn't believe that. And that's the misinformation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what you had, I know what they put out before. One thing was cooling water. That's a non-starter, right?
Yeah.
Taking water from the river, putting it in settled ponds, and putting it in the back of the river, that's a non-starter. Post-cooling might be a starter, right? That's a big plus, right? I mean, so things are changing, right? If you, as we see things, things will change. We'll address those issues.
Right, so what we were originally reporting, if it's changed since then, that's because it's been
That's why
changed.
they need to get their website going.
Yes, so that's why you guys need to update that website. We have been sharing a lot of the information that NCS has given us, so if you guys want to look those over as well, we're welcome to give those to you. But Josh and his team gave us exact numbers in our private meeting, and then whenever they announced it for the Akwesasne meeting, the handouts had no numbers in them. So also what they're reporting to us is changing as well. So you can't hold it over everyone's head. I understand that.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying-
no, I understand that
I apologize
propaganda is
if I made
crazy.
that.
but-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I apologize if I made that.
yeah, I'm speaking for everyone.
Okay.
So, like, I'm also sorry that everything is blown out of proportion, but like we said, the public comment that happened before in January, nobody knew about that. And now, there should be a public comment coming on soon, but where is it? The data centers are not on the agenda. Will they be on the agenda next meeting? I would hope so. Anyone else want to comment? Go right ahead, thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan Darragon, 46 Belmont Street. So with these data centers that already gone ahead and lied about how many people that they were going to employ, why should we go ahead and trust them now on doing an expansion and saying that, oh, we're going to go ahead and employ X amount of people? You know, these data centers are nothing but a strain on our energy cost. They don't do anything for our community. What little people that they do employ, it does not benefit the community, it does not benefit anybody, because it's just a trickling system where it's causing cancer all the way down. So the environmental impact that they say that they don't have, there is one. There is one. Let that be known. This is going to affect all our generations that come behind us, or and behind us, you know. So let's keep that in mind. Whether this is on the agenda for today or not, I'm glad that everybody has come here to go ahead and be concerned about this, because there's so many times that the public gets dismissed and it's pushed underneath the radar. Because you can't say that it hasn't happened with the town of Massena. Because Walmart came in and they had whatever type of deal with the town of Massena, that my buddy couldn't even open up his convenience store over at the corner store as a sub shop. He had to go ahead and jump through hoops to do it. Now, this was like 10 years ago and he's closed down now. But that's the reason why the whole public is here, because whether you say that we have to have this information, there's so many times that a lot of things get pushed underneath the rug. That things aren't done the way that they're supposed to, you know. And if I can just say one more thing, we have a dog warden that is employed by the town of Massena, okay, or the village of Massena. Is that a topic for here?
A dog warden.
Dog warden, whatever he is for Massena. He does not answer his phone whatsoever. He is, all he is we're paying him for nothing. You try to call him and the police department can't even